Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to English News coming to you from DJAZAIR and One TV. I'm your host Zahida Belhadi. To the headlines. The situation in Gaza is the focus of Attaf's meeting with his counterpart from the Republic of Zimbabwe. Algeria participates in the 72nd Executive Office meeting and the 39th session of the Council of the Arab Ministers of Justice in Baghdad. Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune chaired a Council of Ministers meeting devoted to discussing the draft finance law for the year 2024. Attaf receives his counterpart from the Republic of Chad. President Tebboune chaired a meeting of the Super Security Council. Welcome to details. First of all, Algeria yesterday strongly condemned the deliberate attack on a hospital in Gaza Strip by occupation forces. The presidency of the Republic condemned the deliberate attack that results in hundreds of the casualties and many injured among the brotherly Palestinian people. The presidency of the Republic condemned the deliberate attack that results in hundreds of the casualties and many injured among the brotherly Palestinian people. In its statement issued by the Presidency of the Republic, Algeria called in the international community, humanitarian organization, and the global conscience to intervene immediately to stop such barbaric acts that violate international and humanitarian law and the most basic human values. The Minister of the Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Mr. Ahmed Attaf, received at the Minister's headquarters his counterpart from the Republic of Zimbabwe, Frederick Musawa Shafa, who arrived in Algeria to participate in the 20th edition of the ministerial meeting of the Africa and Northern European countries. This meeting was an opportunity to review the cooperation relations between the two countries and the prospect of strengthening them in the light of the upcoming bilateral obligation, as well as consultation and coordination on many regional and international issues that fall at the core of the interest of the two countries. In this context, the talks focused in particular on deteriorating conditions in the occupied Palestinian territories, especially in the Gaza Strip, which is living in strategic conditions as a result of the escalating attacks of the occupying power. As the two parties renewed their calls in the international organization in Paris to take action in order to put an end to shameful crimes committed against the people, the Palestinian authorities, and hold those responsible accountable. The heads of the diplomacy of the two countries also exchanged views and analyses of the latest developments in the situation of the continental level, especially ways and prospects of making a joint contributions and strengthening joint African actions and reviving the role of continental organization, promoting and embodying the values, principles, and goals in which it was founded. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Justice, on behalf of the Minister of Justice, Keeper of the Seals, and Vice President of the Executive Office of the Council of the Arab Ministers of Justice, Abdullah Rashid Tabbi, participates in the work of the Executive Office made in 72nd session, 39th of the Council of the Arab Ministers of Justice in the city of Baghdad, Iraq, on the 15th and 16th October 2023. The agenda includes important topics related especially to combating terrorism, discussing to the issue of criminalizing the payment of ransom of terrorists, and reviewing the Arab Agreement for the protection of the personal data and the Arab Agreements to combat corruption. The issue of unifying Arab legislation will also be discussed through consideration of drafts indicative laws related to the Arab indicative laws to protect children from recruitment into armed conflicts, the Arab indicative laws to prevent hate speech, and invalid Arab laws to combat narcotics and psychotropic substance in issues of the relationship of the Arab Center for the legal and judicial research with the Council of the Arab Ministers of Justice. The Minister Abdelmajid Tebboune, President of the Republic, Super Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of the National Defense, chaired the Council of the Minister meeting devoted to discussing the draft finance law for the year 2024 and to presentation related to the sectors of the interior, higher education, agriculture, post-transportation, and public works. After the opening of the Council of the Minister meeting by the President and his giving the floor to the Prime Minister to the President outcome of the government's activity, in the last 2 weeks, the President of the Republic gave the following directives and orders. Regarding the draft finance law 2024, the President of the Republic ordered the allocation of the Special Council of Ministers to study and discuss the draft finance law 2024 with the necessary precision, provided that the draft included all the decisions that were taken at the Council of the Ministers meeting, whether in the social or economic aspect, as well as preserving the country's sovereignty by not resorting the debt. The President stressed the priority of the implement project with a strategic dimension to assimilate the country's economy and taking into account that the world is witnessing these circumstances. The draft laws must perceive the purchasing power of the citizen in the light of the rising prices to the international markets as a result of the expanding cycle of instability in the world. Regarding the creation of demanding states in the south and high plateaus, the President ordered the necessity of the following up the projects to create a new mandate in the south and high plateaus under the direct supervision of the Minister of the Interior and the coordination with the rest of the concerned sectors, provided that at a later stage, new states are created into north of the countries. The President stressed that the creation of the new mandate aims to generalize a local development to create economic space and reduce the burden on the citizen. The state's potential and capabilities in creating a new mandate must be taken into account. Regarding training and scientific research in the field of the green hydrogen, the President of the Republic appreciated the Algerian University approach to development specialization in the field of the training and scientific research on the green hydrogen, preparing a comprehensive strategy and keeps pace with the scientific and the technical developments taking place in the world, also in cooperation with the countries with the leading experience in the vital field. The President directed the governments to the highlight of the state's efforts in preserving the ecosystem and protecting the ocean, and the continue intensifying work to achieve a high result in the field. Regarding a presentation on improving internet connectivity, the President directed the government to continue working to achieve a greater quality in state streaming and connectivity to internet, and raising the level of services in virtual sectors such as higher education and education, finance, banking, and the other economic fields. He stressed that the importance of providing maximum protection for the internet connection network, taking into account the issue of cybersecurity and seriously thinking of anew on about exploiting satellite technology to provide internet service. He charged the Minister of the Sector with preparing a comprehensive plan for this process. The President ordered the Minister of Agriculture to involve youth energies in various agricultural fields because of their creative area in developing agriculture, especially with availability of natural capabilities and all the qualifications that allow modernizing the agriculture sector and achieving self-sufficiency. Regarding the organization of the model farms, the President of the Republic assigned the Minister of Agriculture to prepare a new vision of organizing model farms in terms of the legal and the professional framework, define their specialization and desired goals, and involve scientific research in the stage of their restructuring. Regarding the proposal of the Minister of the Republic Works and the base establishment, the Council of Ministers agreed to complete the construction of the two ports linking the states of Mascara and Tizi Ouzou to East-West Highway. The Council of Ministers concluded in its meeting by improving decrees that include appointment and determination of a tax in a senior position in the states. The Minister of the Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Mr. Ahmed Hattaf, received today at the Minister of the Headquarters his counterpart from the Republic of Chad, Mohamed Saleh Nazif, who arrived in the Algeria to participate in the 20th edition of the ministerial meeting of the African and North European countries. During this meeting, it was agreed on several streams aimed to consolidating Algerian and Chadian relations, especially organizing the next session of the Joint Committee of Cooperation early next year and intensifying communication between economic operator in the two countries to exploit the opportunities provided by the continental free trade area. The two parties also took advantage of this opportunity to exchange opinions and analyses on the serious developments taking place in the Palestinian issue as well as on development in the situation of the Sahel region. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, Super Commander of the Armed Officers and Minister of Defense, chairs a meeting of the Supreme Security Council. According to the statement of the interest of the Presidency of the Republic, President Abdelmajid Tebboune will chair a meeting of the Super Security Council. The presidential statement said, after studying the current tragic condition of the brotherly Palestinian people and the systematic genocide committed by the occupation forces in the occupied Palestinian territories, Algeria expressed its rejection of this operation against defenseless civilians, affirming its full solidarity with a brotherly Palestinian people with its complicated conviction that radical solutions cannot it lies in genocide or mass deprivation, but in establishing the Palestinian state with its capital Al-Quds al-Sharif in the June 1967 borders. The statement added Algeria calls on the international community shoulder in responsibility, especially the Security Council, to ensure protection to the defenseless Palestinian civilians. The Foreign Minister, Mr. Ahmed Hattaf, made a strong statement during the opening speech of the 20th session of the African Nordic Foreign Minister meeting in Algeria, October 16 and 18, 2023. The Minister highlighted and appreciated the convening of the 20th session of the Cooperation and Consolidation Mechanism, which has proven over the year of the effectiveness in the surveying of the occupation relation between our countries. Our work today is a great need to such a mechanism as is vulnerable to divisions, clashes, and conflicts. Attaf said we are truly indeed need to this mechanism which is based in the value of the dialogue, exchange of opinions and interaction of the idea, those values that the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has always championed in order to promote and employ them to exemplary tools that establish solidarity, cooperation, and interdependence in facing the current challenges, but it local, regional, or international. He added the secret of the relationship that brings together our African countries and the countries of Northern European lies on our shared and a fair committee to the values, principles and deals upon which and for which the United Nations was founded, the most important of which is pursuit of promoting a friendly relationship between nations in a light of sovereign equality, mutual respect, and shared trust, upholding international law and interaction and exchange between countries, ensuring the right of people's self-determination and contributing to resolving crises and conflicts by peaceful means. From the perspective of the Minister added in his speech that the word elect takes opportunity to mention and praise the honorable historical position of the Northern European countries that defended the right of the opposite African people to self-determination and that stood in solidarity with the liberation movement in the Africa to get rid of the yoke of colonialism, radical discrimination, and foreign occupation of the lands of the others. And he added, with the motion of the foreign occupation, one brings on mind, although it is never forgotten, the strategic situation that our brothers are expressing in the occupied Palestinian territories, especially the bombs Gaza Strip, in the full view of everyone without the sterilized regard of the most basic humanitarian rules, international norms and laws. Algeria, which renew its full solidarity with the Palestinian brothers, calls on the international community to provide an urgent response to the help of the opposite, to put an end to this aggression, and to work of the revive the peace process to enable the Palestinian people to establish their independent states in the 1967 borders with Quds Sharif as its capitals. Attaf also stressed that while our continent continues to mobilize its energies and rally in arms of its people to crystallize its ambitions and implementation, it also seeks to establish balanced partnerships that safeguards in interest partnership and that preserves its priorities, and partnerships that respect its strategic choices and goals. Therefore, Algeria expects a lot from relationships and from promoting relationship between the African and Northern European blocs, especially with regard to cooperation, in order to activate the close interconnected relationship between development and security to ensure a sustainable response to the security challenges facing the countries of the continent and to win the stakes of the economic development. The speaker includes his speech by saying that there is no doubt that this session and the important topic it carries will allow for the identification of the priorities for cooperation between our African countries and the countries of Northern Europe, especially with regard to promoting the goals and the peace and security, strengthening capabilities to encourage economic development, as well as intensifying political conditions, coordination, and the international forums to which we share affiliation. We exchange our commitment to work to revive his main rules as a beacon that illuminated to path of the humanity in these difficult of circumstances. More than all of this, Attaf believes that the issue of education and youth in Africa, which receives great attention in our agenda, is of special and exponential importance decreased, on the other hand, by the states of the youth and our countries, which represents more than 60% of the African population, and on the other hand, the importance of education and training of enable our youth invited to creative and carry out the role assigned to them as a force and a locomotive for the growth and the process for the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the news. Thanks for your attention.